let's get into it, man. 10 things that successful people do. We have to hear me. I want to give you this because everybody's kind of motivated because of the new year, right? Everybody is motivated. Everybody. I'm a lion. Did y'all see? My sister was roaring on Instagram. Everybody is roaring. Everybody is like, yeah, I'm about to kill 2022. I'm about to go in. Yeah, man, I'm about to make it happen. 2022 is my year. And you're doing your sage in your house. Your sage in your house, getting rid of negative energy. I'm gonna tell you that sage will not work. I'm telling you right now, it ain't gonna work. Not to be successful. I don't care who you see doing it. It is not going to work. Hear me. It is good to be motivated. It is good to be motivated. Let me say this as an introduction, and then I'm gonna give you what I need to give you. And your podcast, typically people start logging off and they stop listening around 20 to 30 minutes. I'm gonna try to squeeze all of this information in as quickly as possible. But I want to give you this introduction. Hear me very carefully, guys. Everybody starts off motivated. Everybody starts off motivated. There is something that's greater than motivation, and it is called discipline. Motivation gives you the energy, the passion, the zeal to start a thing. But discipline will help you be consistent in that thing that you started. I'll say that again. Motivation is wonderful. It gives you the passion. It gives you the inspiration. It gives you the zeal to start a thing. But motivation will run out. Put that in your notes if you're taking notes and you're really serious about going to the next level in your life. Motivation will run out. It is discipline that kicks in after most motivation has run out. What do I mean by that? Motivation typically, I'm about to lose weight. I'm about to start this. I'm about to build my business, until you're no longer inspired, until you don't see results, until it's not happening as quickly as you thought it would, until that prophetic word. Listen, I love prophecy. It is phenomenal, and I love how it works. And then it's hilarious to see how we interpret prophecy. That the prophecy does not mean, I don't care what people say, it's about to happen now. That's fine. That is great. I prophesy. I have a prophetic gift. However, I have common sense, and I have disciplines. Watch this, they help me understand and perceive the prophetic word. Can God do things now? Yes, absolutely. But here's the kicker. When you get inspiration or prophetic words, or you're encouraged, or you're motivated, you get up in the morning, you watch your YouTube clips and all these types of things to get you out of bed. Watch this. All of those things, motivation will run out, and it is only discipline that will sustain you and help you produce results, not motivation. Motivation helps you start. Discipline helps you continue. Motivation helps you start. Discipline helps you to continue. And discipline only comes through habits and practicing habits. Watch this. Motivation, when I'm no longer motivated, when I don't feel like doing it, when I don't have the energy, when I'm not inspired, when I'm not encouraged, when it doesn't look like it's about to happen, discipline helps you continue. Discipline, even when I've been doing it over and over again and nothing. Let me give you a prime example. There are times I remember when I said, you know what, I've always been into fitness. I've been working out since I was in the 11th grade in terms of weight training and all that stuff like that. I've been doing calisthenics since I was in the 9th grade, ROTC, all of that stuff. And so I've always been, always worked out, always been a stickler for a clean diet, all of those things. But during the pandemic, I was not doing cardio. I'll have to tell y'all about that later. God healed me from a very, very painful back injury. But hear me. So I wasn't doing cardio. I was just lifting weights because, the cardio hurt because of the back pain. So I gained about like 30 or 40 pounds, maybe more. And so I got on the scale one day. Long story short, I got on the scale and I was like, what in the world? So I went on this journey to lose the freaking weight, y'all. I lost, just before I got my trainer most recently, I lost like 30, 35 pounds, maybe 40 on my own. And here's the thing. Get this. When I didn't see the results right away, I knew that they were still working because I was still continuing to do the strategy. So that's how that's what makes you keep going. Even if you can't see it, as long as you stick to the strategy. As long as you stick to the strategy. So I know even though I didn't feel, or even though it didn't seem like I was losing weight, when I would look in the mirror, I knew that it was working because one thing I did eat clean that day. And I did do my routine, my workout. So that's how you know it's working. Even if you don't see it or feel it, you know that it's working because you are applying the strategy. Let's talk about what successful people do, y'all. It's going to blow your mind. Number one, they all work out. They all work out. Yeah, no. I don't work out like that. Yeah, well, listen to me. Hear me very carefully. Let me say this about working out. Watch this. They all work out. They typically work out they get up I'm going to talk about that in a moment, but they get up in the morning between 5 and 6. A lot of them do 5 or 6. Some people do 4:30. I remember years ago, Oprah and Diddy, they were talking about how they got up at 4:30 every morning. Some people do 5 and a lot of people do 6. So 4:30, 5 or 6, they get up in the morning and they work out. Let me tell you why you work out. It controls your weight. It helps with stress. It helps with bad health conditions. Many of you are grinding, but watch this. You're easily tired. You're easily fatigued. You're always sick. All of these things happen because you do not have a great diet and you do not have a regular workout routine. So hear me. I don't care. Listen to me, man. I don't care how smart you are, how talented you are. If you don't take care of your body, watch this, your body will not take care of you, and it will invite distractions like sicknesses and all of these things. And so now you can't perform anymore. You're tired, you're sluggish, you're unhealthy. You got to now you're on medicine, all of these things. So you can't perform because you don't take care of your body. Successful people, all of them work out. Yep. So if you hear me, if everybody's trying to copy somebody, you're trying to copy the successful people, you got to copy all of it, bro. You have to do all of it. And they work out. They get up in the morning and they work out. They have clean diets, and it does not take a bunch of money to diet. You don't have to be rich to diet. You don't have to do any of those things. You get this, and to work out, you don't even have to get a gym membership. Aerobics, strength training, running, walking, do something. 30 minutes to 45 minutes every single day. Take care of your body. Successful people work out. Let me tell you something. People who work out are trusted more than people who don't. I'm going to be very blunt. This is my platform. I can be blunt. People do not trust obese people. No, as much as they trust people who take care of their body. Listen to me. I'm going to be really honest with you. Listen, you can judge me all you want to. I'm not talking about your value. I'm not talking about you being fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm not talking about you being accepted. I'm not talking about any of those things. But hear me. I'm telling you what I absolutely know. You can hear a real big person talk about this and talk about that and A, B, C, and D. But there's something in us that naturally, when that person is talking and giving you instructions and telling you what you need to do, you're subconsciously or consciously saying to yourself, yeah, good information, but I don't trust you. Because hear me, people do not trust people who do not take care of their bodies. And a lot of people are smart, but hear me, if you want people to trust your judgment, you have to take care of yourself. I learned this years ago. I went out of the country and and got connected to a church and all that stuff like that. And we performed and all that stuff. And I remember the pastor's wife was a bodybuilder and his son was a bodybuilder. And he used to be overweight. And so he started training along with his wife, A, B, C, and D, and lost like 50 or 60 pounds. And this is what he said to me. He said, people will listen to people he said, people will listen to people who will take care of their bodies. He said, when you get up before your people, you have to look a certain way. People will trust you. And from that point on, I was like, yo, I know I'm a leader. People have to see that I take care of myself. Oh yeah. And we ain't talking about clean bulking. Y'all, we not talking. I was bulky. I'm thick. I'm big bone. No such thing. No such thing. No, no such thing. Listen, you can be smart and people can be like, man, you're anointed. People, listen, gospel music has always been overweight. You can be anointed. People can be like, oh yeah. But when it's time for you to tell people and give people instruction and advice, they will not receive you as much as they will receive a person that it's obvious you take care of yourself. I cannot trust you completely to give me information and instruction if you don't take care of the thing that you are responsible for beyond every other thing. I don't care if you got a family. I don't care if you're married. I don't care if you got children. I don't care if you have a business. The thing that you are first and foremost responsible for taking care of is your body. So just know this. Watch this. I don't care. Your dreams, your aspirations, at least start the habit of getting up and taking care of your body. Eat well, eat right, and work out. Number two, they understand failure. Failure is necessary. Everybody's complaining. Oh, what if I fail? Hear me. Successful people understand failure. They invite failure and they do not internalize failure. They reflect on, listen, statistics show that when you study failure, when you study your own failure, you are putting yourself in a position to be more successful in the future. Listen, failure is necessary for success. If you internalize failure, always worried about what if I fail? Hear me. Get this, y'all. You have to fail. You have to fail. That's how you learn. That's how you strategize. That's how you plan for the future. It's simple. You cannot be in this warfare of what if I fail? Who are you? Who do you think you are that your first try you can be successful? No. Who do you think you are that your first try you just got to be successful? It is okay to fail. It is okay to look at what you did wrong and say, I'm going to do it differently this time. This is how we're successful. Listen, I looked it up. What are the basketball players that's missed the most shots? Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and LeBron James were in the top 5. Failure is absolutely necessary. I'm not going to start because what if I fail? That's your problem. You'll never be great. You'll never be successful. You won't even start because you're already predicting failure. Number one. Number two, you're perceiving failure to be a bad thing. That most people who are very, very successful, they have failed at many things. So it's okay to fail. Listen to me, man. Oh, I can't fail. Why? Says who? It helps us prepare. It helps us understand how to prepare and how to do things differently. You may fail. You may not fail. Hear me. You have to fail. Write this down. Failure is gold. Failure is gold, y'all. It's necessary. Invite it. It's okay. I'm not going to sit around and be like, yeah, I can't wait to fail. But if I fail, I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to continue to press. I'm going to try again or try something different. You cannot be successful if you do not invite failure, meaning I'm okay with it. I'm one with it. I know how to navigate through failure. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to be discouraged. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to maximize failure. Number 3, they do not go with the status quo. So watch this. People who are successful, they do not allow society to put them in a box and tell them what they should be doing. They go against social and societal norms. You have to get out of the box. You have to live outside of the box. Everybody's telling you to do this. Go to school for that. Go and do this. Don't do this. Don't quit your job. Don't do this. I'm going to go in wisdom and strategy. Don't just walk off your job with no strategy. But here's the point I'm trying to make. You have to strategize. You cannot go with what society... Do y'all listen to me? You cannot go with what society, friends, and family are telling you what you should be doing. Many people are going to give you advice out of their own fear. Well, people are going to tell you not to do something or to do something out of their own experiences or their own fear of doing or their own inability to do and think outside the box. Many people who are giving us instructions hear me. A lot of people have done good, but they have not become great. Understand that. A lot of people are giving you advice. They've done good in life or they've done well in life, but they have not achieved greatness. They've gone with the status quo. They graduated from high school, went to college, got a job, stayed on it 20 years, got a retirement. Oh, now you can go on vacation when you want to. Hear me very carefully. That's good, but I'm greater than that. Not better than you. I'm greater than that. I want successful people. They identify a problem and they provide answers. This is how you become successful. You find what's missing in society. Don't copy society. Look, don't copy society. Find what's missing in society and create that and be the person that only you can provide the solution for that. That's what successful people do. They find problems. They don't copy. What's missing? If you're going to be a pastor, what's not being preached? If you're going to be a business person, well, out of all the businesses that provide the same thing you do, what can be different from all the other businesses? Man, listen. Get outside the box, identify a problem, provide the answer, and everybody will come to you. Some of you all need to leave jobs because you're so good and then offer to contract them. Contract yourself on the job you're in now. My cousin did that. My cousin left his job. He was making I remember it. He was making I think it was $200,000 or $300,000 a year. I'll never forget this, man. My cousin worked at a company making about $200,000 to $300,000 a year. It may have been more. And so one day he said he was in a meeting and he realized that, my company doesn't know how to do something. So they were looking for outside resources. So what he did was he went and learned what they needed done. And then he quit the job and then said, I'll do it for you if you contract. I think he started making like $600,000, y'all. I was like, what? And hear me. And so people, because they don't think outside the box. So let me show you as we keep moving. The man sat there in the meeting and everybody was like, well, who knows how to do it? Who knows? Nobody knew how to do it. He went and learned how to do it, quit the job and contracted himself with the job and made more money because he was the only one that knew how to do it. Some of y'all are listening to people who don't think outside the box. Only a person that refuses to be like everybody else could think like that. So people will tell you to do stuff because they've never thought or lived against the grain. You understand what I'm saying? It's like that commercial that came out years ago. Y'all remember? It was that commercial that came out years ago. And it's like all these people were walking in one direction. And it was this particular school, vocational school, that they were not offering the regular majors, right? And so only a couple of people turned and went the opposite direction. Here's the truth of the matter. It's 50-something people on here. Only about 5 people on here will say, you know what? I'm going against the grain because you are afraid of what family is going to say. You're afraid of what people are going to say. You are afraid to get this. You are afraid to quit that job that's only paying you chump change anyway. You're struggling anyway. You could make more money going against the grain. You're struggling anyway. Transition in wisdom. I'm saying successful people, they go against norms. All right, watch this. Number 4, they read every day. Successful people read every day, not watch every day. They read every day. I've been saying this because I need people to understand this. I am a shoe junkie. Get this. I buy as many books as I buy shoes. At least 3 books a week. Do I read all of them in that week? No, but because I got to get information. I got to get information. I got to get it. So even if I haven't gotten to that book yet, it's there and I'm going to pick it up. I got to get it. Listen, you cannot be engulfed in entertainment. And that's where many people are going wrong. Listen to me. Successful people read every day. Everybody's talking about Elon Musk. Elon Musk reads like 2 hours a day. Come on, man. It improves memory. It improves your vocabulary. That's why you can't talk right. That's why you still talk like from back home. That's why when you get into professional settings, you don't know your vernacular It has not improved. You will not read. Reading improves vocabulary. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how dope you are. Listen to me very carefully. You have to read. And when you understand your purpose and your vision, you know what to read. I'm not talking about reading sex novels and reading love stories. That's why you're depressed, because you eating popcorn, reading all this stupid stuff that has nothing to do with where you're going and what you're trying to build. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you need to read on entrepreneurship. If whatever type of industry you're in, read on that industry. Don't just operate on talent and gift. Read. Man, come on. You got to read, bro. Successful people read. It improves your memory. It improves knowledge and vocabulary and knowledge. Number 5, successful people spend money. They don't save it. Money is meant to be spent. We were taught to save money. No, spend it. You save for safety. You spend for investment. That's the proper way. Saving money will never get you rich. I'll give you a perfect example. If you're going to be successful, you got to know how to spend your money and where to spend your money. You have to learn how to invest. I'm not talking about spending on the movies. No, unless you're going to a museum, unless you're going to some type of conference or some type of forum that you have to pay for, that's going to sharpen you and advance you in your field, you have to spend money, invest in your, people are not, hear me, you cannot be successful unless you know how to spend. You can't just be, listen to me, unless you're trying to advance your wardrobe because you're trying to advance your personal presentation versus trying to keep up with everybody. Spend. This is what I learned, man. Let me tell you about dress code, y'all. Let me tell y'all something, man. So I was riding with this pastor, and this is what he taught me. I was driving him. It had to be like, it was 10 years ago. I was driving him to the airport. My dad had me drive this particular pastor to the airport. And so he said, this is what he said. I'm driving him to the airport from Albany, Georgia, where I'm from, to Atlanta's airport. This is way before I moved to Atlanta, yo. He said, Gabe, these shoes I've had for 20 years. He said, I have dress shoes that I've had for 20 years, 18 years, 30 years. I was like, what? He was like, yeah. He said, but they all cost $200, $300. He said, here's why. He said, if you buy the cheap shoes, they're going to be worn and torn in a quick amount of time. See, poverty mentality gets what's cheap. But when you understand wealth and investment, you understand I'm getting something expensive because it's going to last. He said, that's why he said, all I do is send my shoes to the repair guy, and they last me. I was like, wow, I had never thought about it like that. Because when you come from that poverty mentality, that environment of poverty, they don't talk about investment. They talk about safety. In order to be safe, because you don't want to, I may not ever eat again. I don't have that much money. So you buy things to get you by versus to last. So saving is for safety, meaning this, you got to have a savings account for emergencies. Yes, you want to have a savings account, or I'm saving up to invest. But saving is not how you get rich, because money is meant to be spent. It's meant to be working while you're sleeping. Hear me. The Bitcoin, all of these new investment ventures. Listen. Whatever it is, you have to learn how to invest. For example, I'm sitting here in a real studio. The room that I am currently in, it had jacked up carpet. The walls were jacked up. It was vacant, nothing. I spent my money. I invested in my goal. I wanted a podcast, and I didn't want anything to look cheap. I wanted it to last. So I invested, and I'm going to get the money back as I continue to pour into this, as I continue to dump energy into this. But I had to spend the money. I'm talking about the chairs. I'm talking about, listen, I will show you a video of what I bought. It's a real studio, but I had to invest. And I didn't get the cheap stuff. I got what was affordable, but I had to invest. If you're going to see a return, you got to invest, yo. Did you hear what I said? Break that poverty mentality and learn how to invest. All right, here we go. So remember, money, successful people, they spend money. Listen, they don't just spend it and throw it away. It's about investment. What will get me what will last? What will get me a return in the future? Number 6, they get up early and they go to bed early. Now, hear me. Hear me. I said this earlier. I'm almost done. If you're going to be successful, you can't stay in the bed until 10 and 11 o'clock, yo. Not unless you went to sleep at 5 or 6. It's people like my producer, Matt M-Tech. Y'all go and check him out. Follow him on Instagram. I don't know if he's on here, but I'm just thinking about him. People like him, their life. Oh, people like Brandy Thompson. All these people they either do my music, they're producers, or they do all my content. These people go to sleep at 5 and 6. So there are some people's lifestyle, people like myself, musicians and all these types of things. Sometimes we work at night. As a pastor, as a pastor and a leader, man, sometimes I don't get home until 3, 4, and 5 o'clock in the morning. But if that's not your lifestyle, go to sleep early, get up. Go to sleep early, get up early. Successful people get up early. You can't stay in the bed until 10 and 11 and think you're going to be productive. You have the height of your energy, statistically proven, is in the morning. You can't sleep all day. Listen, if you have a business on the side, but you have an 8-hour job and you're like, man, I need to find time to contribute to my business, or I don't have time to read, you're a lie. No, successful people have the same amount of time that you have. They just maximize and use their time wisely, and you have to have the discipline to do that. See, motivation and prophecy don't make you get up in the morning. I appreciate all the prophets taking everybody's money through Cash App. Hear me very carefully. But what they will not tell you is some of this stuff that they are seeing is not going to, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. You got to get up in the morning. You got to prepare for it. Opportunity does not wait on preparation. You have to get up in the morning. You have to read. You're like, I don't have time to read. Yes, you do. If you got to be at work at 8 and you're saying, I want to read, you got to get up at 5 to read for 35 minutes, then move your, come on, I don't have time to work out. Yes, you do. Get up earlier. You ain't hungry enough. Go to bed early. Get up early. Number 7, successful people sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. Get this. You may have to sacrifice time and fun, leisure to be successful. You have to understand sacrifice. We call it delayed gratification. My father taught me, I had never heard that before. My father said, I want you to learn delayed gratification. I'm going to delay the gratification. I'm going to delay what feels good. I'm going to delay what I want for what I need. You will never be successful in anything if you don't understand delayed gratification. Sacrifice. It's going to take sacrifice. You have to sacrifice time. You have to sacrifice money. You have to sacrifice fun. You have to sacrifice relationships. Some of y'all don't need to get married. Sacrifice that because you are too hungry. You want something that marriage may distract you from. So sacrifice it. Yeah, I ain't going to do it right now because I want something. Come on, man. I'm sacrificing. Why you ain't married yet? People go home. We ain't going to get married. When I'm done sacrificing. Your auntie got married when she was 14. Your grandmama got married when she was 9. Why you ain't married yet? Because I want something. And it's going to take sacrifice. Why you ain't got no kids yet? I'm sacrificing. Why you won't come on vacation with us? Because I'm sacrificing. I can take that money and invest it in my business. I'm sacrificing. And if people hear me, and great people, common and average people, they don't understand that word. They think it's a bad word. Sacrifice. I'm not going out. Can't hang out. Can't do it. I got to sacrifice. You got to sacrifice. You want a PhD? You want a doctorate degree? You want to build a ministry? You got to sacrifice. Somebody told me, you don't spend all your money on your church. Nigga, what you mean? No, I'm going to invest. I'm sacrificing. You have to sacrifice. You have to burn the midnight oil if you want to go to the next level. I won't always have to make this type of sacrifice, but I have to do it in this season to get where I want to go. And hear me very carefully. If you always hanging out, that's why you broke. That's why you're not successful, because you always going out. Oh, I've got to relax. No, I'm going to relax indoors, because if I got to sacrifice being with everybody. I got to sacrifice going. I got to sacrifice it. Sacrifice rest. I'm tired. Sleep for 5 minutes versus for an hour. Take a nap versus go to sleep. Sacrifice. If you're going to go to the next level, it ain't going to be handed to you, son. Nothing is. You got to sacrifice. It's going to hurt. My trainer, I can't stand him every time. We get, man, I'm like, yo, this junk hurt. You got to sacrifice if you want these gains, son. You got to sacrifice. Listen to me. People say, oh, I be working out. No, you don't. You don't work out, because you hear me. You will not sacrifice. You got to eat the honey bun. You will not go to the kid. I double dare you. Let's play truth or dare. Let's play truth or dare right now. Let's play it right now. If you know you are obese, if you hear me, based upon your body, your BMI, your height, your age, and your weight, you know you are obese. I dare you to go to your kitchen and your cupboard right now and get rid of all candies and pies and cakes and cookies. I dare you to get rid of. That's why you got that gut, son. Do you know that most disease is in the gut? The visceral disease. Listen, I dare you to get rid of all that stuff right now. Make the sacrifice. You're going to be hungry. Put yourself in a caloric deficit. You're going to be hungry. You can't cut corners, son. Sacrifice. Go to the gym right now. As soon as you get off bandwidth, go to the gym. Right. I dare you to make the sacrifice. Man, I was chilling. Man, I was relaxing. Get up. High blood pressure, diabetes, and make it happen. Trash everything. Hot dogs and pizza and candy. No. Some of y'all don't have cheat meals. Y'all have cheat months. Oh, it's my cheat meal day. Well, so was the last 25 days. If you gonna be successful, you got to sacrifice. Number 8, they do not listen. Hear me, y'all. They do not listen to the opinions of people who cannot prove success. They don't listen to critics. They only listen to critiques. Successful people don't listen to critics. They listen to critiques. It's so interesting. Watch this. It's so interesting. Watch this, y'all. See, I'm starting to like the people that everybody don't like. I'm starting to like the people that people don't like. I'm learning from people. For example, first of all, I love Joe Osteen, by the way. Pastor Joe Osteen. I love him, by the way. I love him. I don't listen to his messages, but I love what he's built. I love it, right? And I love him because people don't like him. So I like to do the opposite way. I don't like him. I'm not about to say that stupid stuff. When everybody was talking about, he didn't let the people in when the flood came. First of all, it wasn't true. You need to stop. Social media cannot be your source of information. First of all, it wasn't true. But what was so funny was this. The man didn't know that the world was talking about him. He did not know. He said, I didn't know. He said, my assistant told me that we had gone viral. The man did not know. He did not know that people, the church, everybody, he didn't know that his name was going around on social media. He said, I don't read those things. He said, the only way I found out through my assistant. And then, so the person that interviewed him said, so what do you feel about that? He said, oh, we don't listen to those types of things. No, we don't. We stay focused. We do what we're called to do, A, B, C, and D. He says, those things are not true. I said, man, that's some gangster stuff there. That's some, and the average of us, hear me, y'all. Many people, I know people that's always, what did they say about me? What did they say? I said, these people won't ever be, you couldn't handle success, because when you're successful, it's going to always be somebody that there are people, hear me. I asked some people, what should I talk about on my podcast? And they were sending me like the characters of Jesus Christ and pray. I'm like, what? You want me to get on here and talk about the characters of Christ? That's what? I hear me. I get it, because they associate me with pastoring, and I understand it. But watch this. Hear me don't miss this, y'all. But there are people who they don't agree with my personality on this podcast. Oh, that ain't godly. Hear me. And people are always going to have something to say about productivity, son. And some of y'all won't ever be successful because you are always concerned about what people think. Are they talking about me? Who likes me? Has anybody said anything about me lately? Has anybody said anything about me? That's why you're going nowhere real fast. Because while you should be producing, you're concerned about people's opinion. Watch this. Successful people number 9, they do not post for agreement. They post for engagement. They don't, hear me, y'all. Successful people don't argue in comments. Jay-Z at one point was the most talked about on social media, but he doesn't on Instagram, but he doesn't have Instagram. Successful people don't post for agreement. They post for engagement. And many of you, as soon as somebody in the comments, they disagree. I like this stuff, man. Will post stuff and I'll see, and I'll be sitting there, I'm human, so I'll be sitting there saying, that's the stupidest jump. And here's what's so funny. People will post and they will talk to me in the comments, trying to correct what I'm saying as if I'm about to say, oh, ABC. No, bro. No, I'm posting for engagement, son, not agreement. They don't post for agreement. And some of us, we personalize social media so that y'all got time to sit. I'm talking about, I've seen pastors. I don't care who you are. I've seen pastors. I've seen a lot of people. I'm not talking about defending the faith, and I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking, because we all have responded to compliments or comments. I'm talking about people who literally get in debates in the comments. I'm like, how are you that important and you have time to sit there and debate people on social media? You don't even know these people. Man, I'll never forget this. I saw this on Instagram. Bishop TD Jakes. You all call him TD Jakes. I call him Bishop Jakes. Okay. He posted his food. It was like a year ago. He posted his food for Thanksgiving, and somebody in the comments said, I'm paraphrasing what they said. They said, well, you shouldn't be posting this because some people don't have food to eat, A, B, C, and D. And man, Bishop Jakes was so gangster with his. He said, well, I would have thought that after I've fed hundreds of thousands of people, I could at least feed my family. I was like, oh, God, Lee. But hear me. You don't see Bishop Jakes getting into arguments and debates and all of these things in the comments. Yo, if you're going to be successful, you gotta strengthen your emotions and stop. You gotta strengthen your mindset. When people don't agree with you, if you post something, when people text you and say, well, I wouldn't do that, or why you did A, B, C, and D, you have to, since we are a social media world, y'all, if you're gonna use social media, don't internalize it. You don't know these people from a can of paint. People be in the comments talking about, I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know you, buddy. I don't know you, shawty. You got to be, why am I engaging in a deep conversation with people I have not met before? I don't know you. You've never been in my car, never been in my house. I don't know where you live. You don't know where I live. We've never prayed together. We've never eaten together. We've never done anything. And I'm sitting here arguing. Here's why. Because we are not strong. We're not productive enough. Successful people post for engagement, not agreement. Number 10, successful people have mentors. Successful people have mentors. Why don't you have one? You got friends, you got a circle, you got a little network, but you don't have a mentor. Homie, you got a network, but you don't have a mentor. You don't have anyone that you sit down with and you shut the devil up and you say, all right, this is what I have going on. And that mentor is able to say, all right, do this, don't do this. I advise you to do A, B, C, and D, blah, 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 blah. Watch this. Successful people have mentors. Some of them a lot of people have spiritual advisors. And those of us who are Christians, we have pastors. Why don't you have someone that you meet with on a regular basis? And you ain't talking about no stupid stuff. You're saying, help me with this. What do you think about this? And tell me, who's your mentor? I don't listen to anybody that don't have a mentor. I don't listen. Matter of fact, let me be honest with you. I don't listen to can't nobody come to my church and preach and none of that if you can't tell me who your pastor is. I don't fool with people who I don't fool with anybody that listen to me. I don't fool with anybody. And here's, man, y'all ain't ready. Successful people have mentors. Dr. Darius Daniels said he was in, he said he was in this forum or he was in this environment or something like, he said all the successful people I've met, he said all of them have one thing in common. He said all the rich, successful people that I've met and that I know, all of them have one thing in common. They have mentors. Hear me. You're smart, you're gifted, you're talented. You do no check-in with anybody. And here's the truth of the matter. One of the things that this is what I'm finding out. Some people have mentors, but you have mentors and you know that they're going to tell you what you want to hear, and you're not going to allow them to really get into the meat and potatoes of your life that's really keeping you from being successful, son. Who's your mentor? Man, come on. Who's your mentor? If you an elder and you ain't got no mentor, you ain't got no business being no elder. If you a pastor and you got no mentor, no pastor, you don't have no business being no pastor. If you a deacon, if you're a business entrepreneur, whatever, and you got no mentor, you have no business doing what you need a mentor. That's how you avoid the pits. My dad would say it like this. He said, everyone has a blind spot. If in fact you don't have somebody, that's why we have driver's seat and passenger seat. Have you ever been driving and it was just quite natural? You've been driving and you looked in the mirror and you didn't see, you looked in the mirror and you said, oh, nothing's there. But you started trying to change lanes and there was a horn, boom. And you're like, dang, I didn't see it. That's what we call that a blind spot. And the only way that you would have been able to see that typically, watch this, is if a passenger was driving with you or riding with you. You need a passenger. On the way to success in life, you need a passenger. That the things you can't see about yourself, what you're doing, what you're thinking, it's a good idea. You be motivated. That's how you know you got a real mentor, because you be motivated. I got this idea. And you got all that stuff planned out, ABC, and the mentor says, nope, I would do something different. Do it like this, A, B, C, and D. Everybody has a blind spot. Number last, successful people meditate. Do you know what meditation is as it relates to in Christendom? Meditation. I'm talking now. I'm a believer. I'm a man of God. So we're talking about Christian. I'm not talking about I'm talking about sitting and waiting on the Lord to speak to you. Dr. Miles Monroe says, pray 5 minutes, meditate for 60. He says, we talk too much in prayer. Come on, Jesus, come through here. Do it now, Lord God. Father, we declare your glory. We rend the heavens, open up the heavens. Father, send them from the north to south, east. We break strong, we loose some and bind. And we do that for a whole hour. And then we walk away, we're like, yep, we killed the devil. But when do you have an opportunity to do a Selah and allow the Lord to speak to you? Meditate. If you're not a Christian, fine. Whatever your religious beliefs are, whatever, meditate. Learn how to become one with your thoughts and quiet yourself. Get the noise, yourself of noise. Successful people meditate. Christians who are successful meditate. Watch this. If you do not hear me, Christian, when you don't meditate and allow the Lord to speak to you, when you don't have personal devotion, when you don't do prayer and reading the scriptures, this is what happens. And then we're done. You fall. Hear me. You fail internally. You can be a public success, but internal failure. When you do not do personal daily devotion, you must do that, successful people. Every day you should do daily devotion. You should hear from God. Allow his word to minister to you. I'm talking to Christians. All right. Number one, if you do not spend time in daily devotion, reading of the scriptures, I put this on my social media. Of course, it's not going to get likes because it's talking about Jesus. It's talking about stuff that's not carnal, right? I said it is dangerous for us to go weeks and days without reading the word. Here's the danger. You fail internally. Number one, you become very petty. You hold on to unnecessary drama. People who cannot forgive, people who are always talking about what people did, people who will not release people and give people to the Lord and walk in love and kindness. I promise you, they don't spend time in prayer. They don't spend time in the word because it's anti the kingdom of God. It's anti the character of Christ. So we have a lot of people who are talented and smart and building things, but they petty as the devil because they don't have personal devotion. They don't allow the Holy Spirit to talk to them and say, no, get rid of that. release that person, forgive that person, walk in love, walk in kindness, walk in unity, walk in patience. You are petty. You always talking about what people did and that person this and she didn't do this and he didn't do that and I ain't with that ABC. You are petty. We got a lot of petty people who are successful. Hear me very carefully, or trying to be successful because Christians who will not spend time in the Holy Scriptures and in prayer and allow the Lord to help you internally. You are dope externally. You post on social media, you got your stuff, got your content. Hear me very carefully, but internally, you are far from God. And the only way to be conformed into the image of Jesus Christ is to not just listen to worship music and come to church. You got to read his character. How do you read his character? It's in the word. Petty people, hear me very carefully. Petty people are far from God as it relates to being obedient to his scriptures. Number three, you're carnal. People will become, watch this, people will become a means to an end if you do not meditate and allow the Holy Spirit and the Lord to deal with you internally. You will start using people to be successful. You won't see people out of the lens of God and honor people and cherish people and love people. You'll just see them as a stepping stone. Everything will be about business. Everything will be about that money. Business is business, but hear me very carefully. You got to love people. You'll walk over people, look over people, be too busy to love and talk to people and listen to people. Meditation, allowing the Lord to deal with you on the inside. You will turn into a diva and a devil instead of a man or a woman of God if you do not spend time in meditation and devotion. You will turn into a diva and a devil. You'll stop being teachable and reachable. Nobody will be able to correct you. Nobody will be able to bring things to your attention. That's the purpose of devotion, prayer, reading of the word of God, and allowing the Lord to speak to you. You'll be confused and not know what to do. If you spend time in meditation and allow the Lord to tell you, he'll be a light unto our path, a lamp unto our feet. He'll give us direction. But people who don't spend time in personal meditation and devotion and allowing the Holy Spirit to talk to us, we won't know what to do. You'll be committing suicide because you're rotting away internally, but you got that cash though. You got that brain. You always posting. You know everything about the algorithms, but you have no spiritual connection to God and his character. You'll stop living out of the fruit of the Spirit and you'll just be living out of your own soul, your mind, will, and the emotion. And the Spirit, hear me, the Spirit of God comes, it takes over the soul versus the soul taking over the Spirit, the character of Christ. You'll be overwhelmed with life instead of being spiritually recharged. Many people are overwhelmed because their spiritual fuel is on E, son. That's what successful people do. Whatever religious faith I just talked to Christians. I don't know nothing about nothing else. You have to spend time in meditation every single day, son. You do have time. Get up in the morning or before you start your work or before you start your business. You take 10, 15 minutes and you say something to the Lord and then you sit there, turn off the music, turn off the distractions and say, Lord, now speak to me. And then the first 5 minutes, if you're not used to it, you got to navigate through your own thoughts. You got to quiet your thoughts. And then after about 5, 10, 15 minutes, you will come to a center and then you will start to hear things. It's the Holy Spirit. All right. I love y'all, man. Welcome to Bandwidth, yo. Go and be great. Whatever you do, don't forget to be a lion. Too easy.